Nate here again with another video. It's been quite some time since I've had the opportunity to make one. Been rather busy preaching and doing a lot of fill-in and some other things. Recently took a small church as the actual pastor, was voted in. So it's been a very busy and hectic time of my life. And just wanted to go over some things that I've been dealing with over the last few months, and spent quite a bit of time trying to help a small church find their next pastor. It's a small rural church, and had been in decline for some time, and had been without a pastor for about a year. And so there's a few things that I learned during this process. So I have 3 tips for anyone that's out candidating or that's looking for a church to become the pastor of, and just some things that I noticed, some things that I realized while trying to help this other church out. And we'll just jump right into them today. The first thing I want to say is, number one, you got to be professional. Um, it blew my mind, some of the stuff that was sent to me, some of the resumes, lack of resumes. Um, I'll just run down a few of the things that we went through, a couple of things that we dealt with. Um, the first one that comes to mind was a gentleman had just sent a Facebook Messenger that he was interested in candidating for the church. After looking at his Facebook profile and just different things, we didn't really feel like that he was probably a good fit. He proceeded then a couple weeks later to just rip me up one side and down the other. That I was a horrible Christian, horrible person, and that the church would probably fail because of how they didn't accept him. And so that was kind of surprising and very unprofessional, and kind of confirmed what we already felt, that this gentleman was definitely not the right candidate, just because, like I said, some things that were posted on their Facebook page, and just given enough time, this person showed who he really was. One of the other things, there seems to be this idea, not by everybody, but by some, that they don't need to put a resume together, that it's just some super spiritual thing. And while it is a spiritual thing, one of the ways that people can get some discernment is by you being willing to send information. And so, you put together a good resume. That's all I can say. Reach out, reach out to me. I'll help you out. Not for free, by the way. I can help you out. You got to put together something that looks good. It's your first impression. Just like you're walking into a business, you're walking into a church for the first time. You start making judgments for right or wrong. A lot of times those judgments are right, just based upon the first things that you see. And so when you send us a resume that is just unprofessional, it says a lot about you. It says that you didn't take the time to care. It says that you weren't willing to spend the money or the effort to have it done correctly. And I've gotten information as little as people sending an email with just their name, email address, and phone number, and a quick little blurb, that says they're KJV, Independent Fundamental Baptist, yada yada yada. One sentence, and that's it. And it's like, I'm not even gonna bother wasting my time. You sent me this email on your iPhone, and you never sent us any real information. And so then there's other resumes that we got that you're sitting there putting that you have a college degree on there, but yet it's just full of misspellings and errors, and not put together well at all. And it just again says a lot about you as a person. If you're not willing to put in the effort to send out a good representation of yourself, don't be surprised if you get passed over. Also, when it comes to resumes, keep them short. Give us the relevant, pertinent information. That way, a church or a pulpit committee can look over it. They can decide at that point, where they want to go. But don't overwhelm them. Send them enough, but don't overwhelm them. It shouldn't be more than a couple pages. Doctrinal statements. Let's just the world I come from, where Independent Baptists is we pretty much have the same doctrinal statements. So you don't need to copy and paste a 10-page doctrinal statement and send it to me. Most doctrinal statements can be within 1 or 2 pages. They can be concise. They don't need to be these big long diatribes. if any questions come arise through the vetting process, we can then go through them. But one gentleman sent us 38 pages, 38 pages to go through. It was laughable. There's a frequently asked questions attached to it, and so that wasn't professional. So put on, don't be fake, be real, but put a professional image out of yourself and your family. If you don't have the skill set to build something that is professional, that's okay. You don't have to do it yourself, but you do need to pay someone or have a friend or have someone do it, but it needs to look good. And it needs to be concise, and it needs to have appropriate information. I mean, at least spell check the thing. It shouldn't just be full of errors. Again, that just shows a lack of carelessness. And so I don't know where this idea came from that looking for a church is, well, again, it's spiritual, but it's people begin to vet and go through potential candidates. They begin to ask the Lord's guidance based upon what they receive. And so don't be too proud to put together a good resume. Put together something that's professional. Okay, so number one, be professional. Number two, I'd say be patient. Your average church's pulpit committee was probably not prepared to be a pulpit committee. The pastor may have walked away unexpectedly. He may have died unexpectedly. Even those that knew their pastor was maybe nearing death, it's one thing to know it. It's another thing to experience it and actually go through it. And so very few pulpit committees are actually prepared to deal with the stress of bringing in a new pastor. And so you need to be patient. Most of them were not prepared by the previous pastor. They don't really know what they're doing. And I don't say that to be mean or anything like that, but they weren't prepared. And that's unfortunate. Pastors need to do a much better job of replacing themselves. That's a whole nother video. And so, be patient. A lot of them have full-time jobs. They're still working, trying to keep the church afloat, and they're trying to find a pastor. They're being pressured by church members for action. And, there's just a lot of things going on. And a lot of these churches that are looking for pastors, they're older congregations, and, they're afraid. And rightfully so. There's a lot of people out there that maybe got some ulterior motives, or we've got guys that are coming in still trying to convert churches to Reformed theology, and they're being dishonest about it. And so, they're scared, and it's very easy for them to get paralysis analysis, and because they're not sure what to do. But a lot of them are good people. They're trying to make the right decision, and so be patient. With that being said, follow up. Out of all the people that submitted resumes and information or contacted us somehow, only a couple actually followed up. Now, I don't mean follow up a week later, but maybe 2 weeks later. I would say reach out to the pulpit committee, and not in a have you made up your mind, have you made any decisions kind of way, but I'd come in with a very open hand and just say, look, hey, I was just curious to see if you had received my information and if you might have any questions for me regarding anything that you received. Okay, so you want to leave this very non-confrontational, but it's okay to follow up, but give it a couple weeks. I think there's a lot of guys out there just throwing resumes out there, throwing contacts out to every church that has a posting, and just kind of seeing what sticks. And believe me, I get the way that we're going about, especially in the world that I'm in. It's kind of tricky trying to find someone. It really is almost like throwing darts at a dartboard in some respects. We're not trying to take out the Holy Spirit or anything, but it can be difficult. Okay, let's just be honest about that. So be patient, but I would say follow up. If you're if you're praying about a place and it's Lord's laid on your heart, don't be afraid to follow up, but be very like I said, non-confrontational. Don't put pressure on them. So be professional. Be professional in the way that you come across. Be patient with the pulpit committee, and then to be humble. The amount of people that we talked to that were just very braggadocious. They were going to come in and turn the church around instantly, and they're just very braggadocious. I don't know how else to say it. Be humble. It's an honor to be able to preach to God's people. It's an honor to be able to share the word of God, and the results are up to the Lord. None of us are supermen. None of us get to come out and just light the world on fire through our own works, through our own merits, and don't act like you're. Again, don't act like you're Superman to the people that you're talking to. One of the things that really bothered me is we'd be talking to people, and how many people never even actually asked about the church, as in the people. They were asking about the church buildings. They're asking about housing, asking about a lot of things, all the things that are relevant. But if the people are the last thing out of your mouth, that's very concerning to me, and I think it is to a lot of pulpit committees. And so, be humble about it. And so, that's my 3 tips. Short video, but if you're out there looking for a church, be professional, be patient, but follow up, and then be humble. You're just a fellow servant of God, just like everybody else. And so, wish you the best of luck out there. If there's anything I do to help you, feel free to reach out to me through YouTube. I know we don't have a very big audience, but it's slowly growing, and hopefully we'll be doing some more videos here shortly. So, I wish you the best of luck while you're out there. I guess that's not really the right term, luck, right? But we do wish you well in your search for your next church. But I think a lot of guys out there would find it maybe easier to find a church if they would heed the 3 things that I just told them, especially the be professional part. So take care, everybody, and I'd love to hear your comments down below. Thank you.